Have you ever wondered what it takes to be truly happy in every situation, regardless of the challenges life throws at you? Is it possible to find contentment amidst chaos and serenity in times of strife? Let's embark on a journey to discover the secret of perpetual happiness through an ancient and captivating Buddha tale that resonates with timeless wisdom and profound emotional depth. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between lush green hills and clear flowing rivers, lived a young man named Rajan. Rajan was known for his kindness and gentle nature. Despite his outwardly pleasant demeanor, Rajan often felt an inner turmoil. No matter how much he achieved or how many friends he had, there was an elusive sense of happiness that always seemed just out of reach. One day, while helping his father in the fields, Rajan noticed an old monk walking along the dusty path that led to their village. The monk, with his serene expression and calm aura, immediately caught Rajan's attention. Curiosity sparked in his heart, and he approached the monk with reverence. "Wise monk," Rajan began, "I seek the secret to being happy in every situation. I have everything I need, yet I feel incomplete. Can you guide me?" The monk smiled gently and placed a comforting hand on Rajan's shoulder. "Happiness, my child, is not something you find outside. It is a state of being that comes from within. But to understand this, you must embark on a journey not of distance but of self-discovery." Intrigued, Rajan decided to follow the monk to a nearby monastery where he could learn the ways of inner peace. As they walked, the monk began to share a story of his own past, a tale that would become a guiding light for Rajan's quest. "Many years ago," the monk began, "I was a prince in a faraway kingdom. I had wealth, power, and everything one could desire. Yet I was never truly happy. My heart was always yearning for more, and no matter how much I achieved, the void within me remained. One day the monk, then a prince, encountered a wise sage who lived in a secluded forest. The sage exuded an inexplicable tranquility that fascinated the young prince. Desperate to understand the sage's secret, the prince abandoned his luxurious life and sought refuge in the forest. For years the sage taught the prince the art of meditation, mindfulness, and the essence of living in the present moment. The prince learned to detach from material desires and embrace the simplicity of life. It was in the stillness of the forest, amidst the chirping of birds and rustling of leaves, that the prince discovered the true source of happiness, the joy that resides within. Inspired by the monk's story, Rajan immersed himself in the teachings of the monastery. He practiced meditation, learned the scriptures, and spent hours in contemplation. Yet, despite his efforts, he often found himself battling inner restlessness. One evening, as Rajan sat by the monastery's lotus pond, the monk approached him. Sensing Rajan's struggle, he asked, "What troubles you, my child?" Rajan sighed, "Despite my dedication, I still feel anxious and incomplete. Why is true happiness so elusive?" The monk gazed at the rippling water and replied, "Happiness is not a destination, Rajan, it is a journey. And every journey has its challenges. Let me tell you another story. There was once a massive tree in the heart of a dense forest," the monk began. "It stood tall and proud, its branches spreading wide, providing shelter to countless creatures. The tree, however, was always in conflict with the changing seasons. It resisted the scorching heat of summer, the heavy rains of monsoon, and the biting cold of winter. One day, a fierce storm swept through the forest. The tree, with all its might, tried to withstand the powerful winds, but eventually its rigid branches began to break, and it fell to the ground with a thunderous crash. In the same forest, there grew a humble bamboo plant. Unlike the tree, the bamboo swayed gracefully with the wind, bending but never breaking. When the storm passed, the bamboo stood tall, unscathed by the fierce winds. The tree's downfall was its rigidity. The bamboo's strength lay in its flexibility. To be truly happy, Rajan, one must learn to be like the bamboo, to bend with life's challenges without breaking." Rajan pondered over the monk's story. He realized that his pursuit of happiness had been rigid and conditional. He had been seeking happiness in perfect situations, in accomplishments, and in external validation. But life, like the seasons, was ever-changing. To find true happiness, he needed to embrace life's impermanence and cultivate inner resilience. From that day on, Rajan approached his practices with a newfound perspective. He learned to observe his thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing them to flow like the ripples in the pond. He embraced the present moment, finding joy in the simple act of breathing, in the warmth of the sun, and in the beauty of nature. Years passed, and Rajan grew in wisdom and inner peace. He became a source of inspiration for others in the village, guiding them on their own paths to happiness. However, life decided to test Rajan's newfound tranquility. The severe drought hit the village, causing crops to wither and rivers to dry up. The villagers were gripped with fear and despair. Rajan, now a respected figure, was looked upon for guidance. Rajan felt the weight of the villagers' expectations, but instead of succumbing to the pressure, he remembered the monk's teachings. He gathered the villagers and shared the stories he had learned. The prince who found happiness in simplicity, and the bamboo that thrived by being flexible. With Rajan's guidance, the villagers began to adopt a more mindful and resilient approach to their situation. They worked together to conserve water, shared resources, and supported each other through the tough times. Instead of focusing on their losses, they found solace in their unity and the small joys of daily life. Rajan himself faced personal challenges during the drought. His father's health deteriorated, and his family's farm struggled. But Rajan remained centered, finding strength in his inner peace. He spent time with his father, cherishing their moments together and caring for him with love and patience. One evening, as Rajan sat by his father's bedside, his father whispered, "You have found the secret to happiness, my son. It is not in the absence of difficulties, but in the way we face them. Your presence and your peace bring joy to my heart." As the seasons changed, the rains finally returned, rejuvenating the land and filling the rivers. The village celebrated with renewed hope and gratitude. Rajan's father recovered, and their farm flourished once again. One day, as Rajan walked along the path that had led him to the monk years ago, he saw a familiar figure approaching. The old monk, now frail but still radiating tranquility, smiled at Rajan. "You have done well, my child," the monk said. "You have discovered the secret to being happy in every situation. It is not a secret at all, but a way of living, with mindfulness, acceptance, and a heart full of gratitude." Rajan bowed deeply, his heart overflowing with gratitude. "Thank you, wise monk. Your teachings have transformed my life." Rajan continued to share the wisdom he had learned with the villagers. He taught them the art of meditation, the importance of living in the present, and the strength in being flexible like the bamboo. The village prospered not just in material wealth, but in the richness of their hearts and minds. Years passed and Rajan grew old, but his spirit remained as vibrant as ever. He became known as the sage of the village, a beacon of light for all who sought happiness and peace. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Rajan gathered the villagers by the lotus pond. He shared his final story, a story that encompassed the essence of his journey. "There was once a young man who sought the secret to being happy in every situation," Rajan began, his voice filled with warmth and wisdom. "He traveled far and wide, faced many challenges, and learned from wise teachers. He discovered that happiness is not a treasure to be found, but a light within that must be nurtured. The secret to being happy in every situation," Rajan continued, "is to live with mindfulness, to embrace the present moment, and to face life's challenges with a flexible heart. Happiness is not the absence of difficulties, but the strength to find joy amidst them." As the villagers listened, their hearts swelled with gratitude and understanding. They knew that they had been blessed with a guide who had shown them the true path to happiness. And so the village thrived, not just in prosperity, but in the boundless joy that came from within. Rajan's legacy lived on, a timeless tale of wisdom and serenity, reminding generations to come that the secret to being happy in every situation lies within their own hearts. As the moon cast its gentle glow over the village, Rajan's spirit ascended to the heavens, leaving behind a world illuminated by the eternal light of happiness. The villagers, guided by his teachings, continued to live with mindfulness, acceptance, and gratitude, finding joy in every moment no matter the circumstances. The tale of Rajan, the wise monk, and the lessons they imparted became a cherished story, passed down through generations. It reminded everyone who heard it that true happiness is not a destination, but a journey of the heart, a journey that begins within and radiates outward, touching the lives of all who embrace its timeless wisdom. And so, the secret to being happy in every situation remained an open secret, a beacon of light guiding souls to the eternal truth that happiness is a state of being found in the present moment and nurtured by a heart full of love, gratitude, and inner peace.